Unit 1, Lesson 8, Civil Rights Movement, Part 3. The Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment has been proposed at every session of Congress since 1923, and it states that the equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. The National Organization for Women, or NOW, made it a top priority in the 1960s, seeking pay equity, or equal pay for equal work, access to traditionally men jobs, access to affordable childcare, and better access to college, since women had lower rates of acceptance than men throughout the United States. The Equal Rights Amendment passed in 1972 through the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, and was signed by President Richard M. Nixon. The Equal Rights Amendment needed 38 states to ratify it and become law. The 38 states needed to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment by 1979. 22 states ratified immediately in 1972, and by 1977, 35 states had ratified the amendment. It was granted an extension in 1979 for 3 years. The Equal Rights Amendment failed to gain those last 3 states' approval before the extension deadline. The Equal Rights Amendment never became law. Though Virginia approved the Equal Rights Amendment in 2018, becoming the 38th state to do so, the deadline had passed, and the Equal Rights Amendment is up to the courts to decide its fate. Opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment was led by Phyllis Schlafly, who led an anti-ERA group. She proposed that the Equal Rights Amendment would mean women would be draft eligible for the military and would have to serve in the combat in Vietnam. That homosexual marriage would become legal and ruin the institution of marriage. That privacy rules would disappear and that men and women would be forced to use the same bathrooms. She and her group argued that women would no longer be entitled to child support and claimed it would cost businesses more money to hire women and pay women equally as men. The Equal Rights Amendment ratification. You can see from the map the geographic regions where the amendment was ratified immediately, where it was not ratified, and states that ratified it but later voted to rescind or take back their votes. Furthermore, Alabama, Louisiana, and South Dakota have filed a lawsuit to block the Equal Rights Amendment from ever being signed into law. Though the Equal Rights Amendment has not joined the U.S. Constitution as the 28th Amendment, there have been significant advancements through the courts for equality. In 1964, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act passes, prohibiting sex discrimination in employment, and it helps lead to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission being created. In 1972, Title IX of the Education Amendments prohibits sex discrimination in all aspects of education programs that receive federal support and federal funding. In 1984, the United States Supreme Court bans sex discrimination in membership for one-time all-male groups like the Jaycees, Kiwanis, and Rotary Clubs. And in 2013, the ban against women in military combat positions is removed, overturning a 1994 Pentagon decision restricting women from combat roles. The modern civil rights movement can be seen in the quest for equal rights for all, especially rights for women. How long, indeed, must women wait for equality? The current status of the Equal Rights Amendment is no clearer than it was in 1972 when it passed the House of Representatives, the Senate, and was signed by President Richard Nixon. The proposed 28th Amendment to the Constitution is continually in limbo. Though Virginia became the 38th and final state needed to ratify, their ratification or approval came decades after the legal extension deadline. It seems that the Equal Rights Amendment will ultimately be decided by the courts, and it is still opposed by conservative groups and by religious groups nationwide.